Question-based selling has been a great brand for us for a long time. And a lot of people see those three words and they think, well, QBS, question-based selling, must be about asking questions. Certainly there's an opportunity throughout the sales process to ask questions, but real engagement comes when the customer starts asking us questions. You want customers to be interested. You want customers to say, tell me more about that, or how does that work? How would that work in my environment? So what this video is about is with a customer asks you a question, how do you want to respond? With what one might consider to be average value, or would you rather respond with maximum value? And most people say, oh, I want to respond with maximum value. Well, how exactly do you do that? So I'll give you an example. If a customer was just a person, was just to say, hey, Joe, what's the best way to get from here to the airport? I asked this question last week in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and I was one of the people in the class. What's the best way to get from here to the airport? And their answer was, well, take the 92 to 5 and follow the signs. Well, I said, okay, well, imagine if I got to the airport and I got to the ticket counter and they said, oh, Mr. Fries, I'm sorry, you're at the wrong airport. Because it turns out there's 3 airports in the Bay Area, if you count San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. So they didn't mean to send me the wrong airport, but how did they know? So it turns out in Atlanta, there's only one airport where I'm based. So I wouldn't ask somebody what airport they're looking for. That's pretty obvious. But if somebody was to ask me, Tom, what's the best way to get from here to the airport? I wouldn't give an answer first. I would answer the question with a question. Why? To provide maximum value. So I might say, well, what time is your flight? Because in Atlanta, traffic patterns and time of day means everything. I might ask, do you have to return a rental car? Because at Atlanta Airport, there's off-site rental car, and there's some goofy turns you have to do near the airport. And thirdly, I might say, how familiar are you with the area? If they say, well, I lived here 20 years, then I would just say, well, take 400 south 285 and follow the signs. If they say, I don't even know where I am, my first time in Atlanta, then I would give them much more specific directions out of the parking lot. So what happens is customers typically don't ask their exact question. They say, how is this going to help my productivity? In terms of productivity per person or in terms of overall year-over-year growth? And they said, well, both, which is a fine answer. And then I would answer for both. This is not a way to dodge the question. It's actually a way to provide more value. So let me ask you this. Do people like it when you're interested in what they're saying? Do people like it when you show interest in them, what they're asking? And so this is not a strategy to dodge or subvert. It's not a trick or a gimmick. Is when somebody asks you a question, they don't ask their whole question. They're going to ask some fraction of it. In fact, one of the tests I do sometimes in a class is say, try it. Ask me a question that I can't respond by further adding value or clarifying what you're trying to ask. And just a couple of weeks ago, somebody raised their hand and said, when's your birthday? And I said, my birthday in terms of when you buy me a present, or my actual birth date, meaning you want to know how old I am. And those are two different things. And what happens is, what you'll find is when customers ask questions, they typically ask some fraction of the real question. If you can clarify and further understand what they're really trying to ask, now don't go overboard. You don't have to ask 100 questions before you give an answer, but 2 or 3 clarifying questions. When I say always answer a question with a question, you don't always do anything, but almost always you have an opportunity to add more value, show that you care about the customer, and then actually deliver a better response, engage the customer in more in-depth conversation. Always answer a question with a question to provide more value.